Welcome back, my friends. We're in Leviticus 6 as we're trudging through what I recently hailed as the very best book of the worst books of the Bible, and that is the laughably ludicrous book of Leviticus. It hails from the Torah, that which was bestowed upon Moses while he and God were really high on Mount Sinai in every sense of the phrase. So let's proceed with what God, Yahweh, has to say here in Leviticus 6. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "When any of you sin and commit a trespass against the Lord by deceiving a neighbor in a matter of a deposit or a pledge, or by robbery, or if you have defrauded a neighbor, or have found something lost and lied about it, if you swear falsely regarding any of the various things that one may do and sin thereby, when you have sinned and realized your guilt, and would restore what you took by robbery or by fraud, or the deposit that was committed to you, or the lost thing that you found, or anything else about which you have sworn falsely, you shall repay the principal amount and shall add 1/5 to it. You shall pay to it its owner when you realize your guilt. And you shall bring to the priest as your guilt offering to the Lord a ram without blemish from the flock, or its equivalent, for a guilt offering. The priest shall make atonement on your behalf before the Lord, and you shall be forgiven for any of the things that one may do and incur guilt thereby. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the ritual of the burnt offering. The burnt offering itself shall remain on the hearth upon the altar all night until the morning, while the fire on the altar shall be kept burning. The priest shall put on his linen vestments after putting on his linen undergarments next to his body, and he shall take up the ashes to which the fire has reduced the burnt offering on the altar, and place them beside the altar. Then he shall take off his vestments and put on other garments, and carry the ashes out to a clean place outside the camp. The fire on the altar shall be kept burning, it shall not go out. Every morning the priest shall add wood to it, lay out the burnt offering on it, and turn into smoke the fat pieces of the offerings of well-being. A perpetual fire shall be kept burning on the altar, it shall not go out. This is the ritual of the grain offering. The sons of Aaron shall offer it before the Lord in front of the altar. They shall take from it a handful of the choice flour and oil of the grain offering, with all the frankincense that is on the offering, and they shall turn its memorial portion into smoke on the altar as a pleasing odor to the Lord. Aaron and his sons shall eat what is left of it. It shall be eaten as unleavened cakes in a holy place. In the court of the tent of meeting they shall eat it. It shall not be baked with leaven. I have given it as the portion of my offerings by fire. It is most holy, like the sin offering and the guilt offering. Every male among the descendants of Aaron shall eat of it as the perpetual due throughout your generations, from the Lord's offerings by fire. Anything that touches them shall become holy. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, This is the offering that Aaron and his sons shall offer to the Lord on the day when he is anointed, 1/10 of an ephah of choice flour as a regular offering, half of it in the morning and half in the evening. It shall be made with oil on a griddle. You shall bring it well soaked as a grain offering of baked pieces, and you shall present it as a pleasing odor to the Lord. And so the priest, anointed from among Aaron's descendants as a successor, shall prepare it. It is the Lord's, a perpetual due, to be turned entirely into smoke. Every grain offering of a priest shall be wholly burned. It shall not be eaten. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the ritual of the sin offering. The sin offering shall be slaughtered before the Lord at the spot where the burnt offering is slaughtered. It is most holy. The priest who offers it as a sin offering shall eat of it. It shall be eaten in a holy place in the court of the tent of meeting. Whatever touches its flesh shall become holy, and when any of its blood is spattered on a garment, you shall wash the bespattered part in a holy place. Love bespattered. Any earthen vessel in which it was boiled shall be broken, but if it is boiled in a bronze vessel, that shall be scoured and rinsed in water. Every male among the priests shall eat of it. It is most holy, but no sin offering shall be eaten from which any blood is brought into the tent of meeting for atonement in the holy place. It shall be burned with fire. Forgive my speedy reading, I just want to get through that mess. Well, Yahweh continues to deliver his unprecedented nonsense here in Leviticus 6. We have a God here who takes such great pleasure in animal slaughterings and additionally reaches heavenly climaxes when the smoke of the animal's burning flesh reaches his nostrils, that he now will lay claim to even another humanly offense for which he can demand animal sacrifices. So this will be in our entry where a thief is commanded to restore what they have stolen from someone, plus a monetary penalty. But wait, the scenario of restitution wouldn't be complete without Yahweh getting in on some of the action here. And so what else could possibly be necessary to make this right? Oh yes, an unblemished ram, or the equivalent, an innocent animal, needs to be slaughtered, mutilated, and burned. So again, as prior stated in the last video in Leviticus 5, with 600,000 men on foot, plus women and children, it's certainly likely this sin will take place quite frequently, and thus Yahweh has just exponentially increased one of his favorite delicacies, turning this wickedly savage tent of meeting, into a full-blown slaughterhouse, a factory of blood spillage, animal carcasses, burning fat, and robed men in special vestments. Gee, good thing it's in the Bible, otherwise we might consider this the mad ramblings of a depraved lunatic. Can you imagine the scene here? I mean, here's the priest continually laying pieces of fat on an altar to keep this perpetual 24/7 fire going, and all the while he's wearing special clothing. They also apply the same rules to the grain offering, and Yahweh is quite pleased, as again, it's a pleasing odor that flows through his nostrils. And lastly, Yahweh states the terms of the sin offering, and if anything touches the flesh of the sin offering, it will become holy. And all God's people say yes and amen. They want to praise a God like this, let alone spend eternity with him. A God that most certainly should have remained a footnote among the vast mythology from whence it came. To make light of this and just simply wave it all away, stating, well, it's no longer necessary because this same God somehow satisfied its insatiable urge for mutilated flesh by the mutilating flesh and sacrifice of his son, as if that makes some sort of sense, reveals all you need to know about the ideology promoted by those that adhere to this doctrine. And you ask why I fight against such mind warpage and delusion. After our reading, I imagine I wouldn't need to give an explanation, but nobody, especially children, should be taught and made to feel that they are born inadequate and unworthy in this God's eyes until they accept him into their lives, when this God is clearly just one of the many mythological anthropomorphic deities spawned by the minds of age-old storytellers and feeble-minded fairy tale folklore addicts. And while this is somehow rampant today, I will do all I can to encourage all to be liberated and free from such teachings and ideologies. As always, I appreciate your support, especially those who have purchased the Holy Shit of the Bible. The book should be back in stock in the TikTok shop in the next couple days. I'll be sure to let you know. Keep rocking, everybody. I love you all, and I will see you next time. Take care.